Welcome back, Chiefs fans. It's Red Friday. Welcome back to KCCP. Let's talk your Kansas City Chiefs. For Red Friday, I have a little bit of a scouting report for you, but if you would, please smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not already done so. Comment on the page, share us, do all that kind of good YouTube stuff. Thank you for all the people that do support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. And give you a quick update on what's going on with the high school football stuff. So last week, we had a great double overtime win. Going into this week, we got our crosstown rivals. They're traditionally a powerhouse team. They're having a little bit of a down year, but they still are loaded. They're still loaded with talent. So we got to go across town. It's Bellevue East versus Bellevue West. So we got to go over to their stadium tonight, East-West game, and hopefully give them a big fat L, which hasn't happened in a very long time. Like I explained, our program is traditionally down and not been very good. We're changing that this year. We're doing great. We're 4-2. We want to go hand them an L, and that would be a huge step in the process. So please wish us a luck. And with that, I'm going to get right into Raider Week, right? Raider Week. So, just kind of looking at the Raiders, an overview for you guys. If you're a bettor, we're favored by a touchdown. They're 1-3. If you didn't know that, they've scored 96 points, but they've allowed 100. So their offense isn't doing terrible. They're ranked 10th in scoring, but their defense is tied for 23rd in scoring allowed. Offense, if you take and kind of just look overall, they're scoring points, but they're still having issues, man. They're still not good. Special teams is bad. Defense is not good at all. Their run game is what won them the game against the Broncos, so we got to watch out for that. They like to run behind their left guard. Their left guard is where they get their biggest yardage when they run. Anywhere right there in the middle, they do pretty good. And then the right guard, they also do fairly well behind him. All right. If you're looking at it, if you run behind the left guard with any of their backs, it's 7.6 yards an attempt. Running behind the right guard is 5.4 yards an attempt. And then right there in the middle with the center, it's about 4 yards an attempt. Okay. You get out to their right tackle, and you're only getting 1 yard an attempt. You get out to their left tackle, you're getting 3.2 yards an attempt. You get a little further outside, they are getting 5 yards an attempt out there towards the left edge, past where the tight end would be. And then the right edge, they're also getting 8.7 out there. But they don't do that very often. All right, so on the edges, they have a total of 18 attempts way outside. When they do it, it works. But they strongly prefer to run inside. They've only run the ball 91 times in 4 games. 91 times in 4 games. They do have 451 yards, and their total average is 5 yards a carry. So to me, this is where we absolutely need to focus our defense. The rest of their offense has not been, it's just not been fantastic, okay? Okay, so pass blocking. Their best pass blocker's been Colton Miller. That's done it with any amount of snaps. He's got 182 pass blocking snaps. He's got a 75.2 PFF grade. I haven't watched a ton of film on him, but he has allowed 1 sack, 2 hits, 7 hurries. So very similar. So this is what's funny, right? Like if you look at the PFF grades and you play into that thing, then you're going to say, well, he's allowed a sack and 2 hits and 7 hurries. His PFF grade should be pretty similar to Orlando Brown's. It's not. So I don't know. Anyway, let's not go down that train again. Dylan Parham is their center. He's done pretty well in pass blocking, but he's also allowed a sack. Darren Waller has allowed a sack. I don't know how to pronounce this other tackle's name. Ulam. I'm done with that one. I'm not going to pronounce it. He's allowed 2 sacks. And he's played a lot. He has 128 pass protection snaps. So I think we need to go at him and go at him pretty hard. They have another tackle, Thayer Munford, and they've all allowed sacks, man. So total, they've allowed 7 sacks, which at 4 games in the year is a lot. I hesitate to say a lot because I know what Matt Ryan's going through in Indianapolis. He has a year's worth of sacks in 4 games. So, you know, things could always be worse. Things could be worse for us. Things could be worse for the Raiders. I don't know if things could be worse for the Colts. They're bad. They're just bad. And they'd have no business to be bad. So that's kind of what they got going on in their pass protection game. Let's look at their pass. So if you look at their pass depth chart, let's see. I'm going to show you guys this. Bam. So if you're looking at this, this is the kind of stuff that I actually really like that PFF makes. So this shows how many attempts, how many completions, where on the field they like to throw. And Derek Carr strongly favors the middle of the field between 0 and 20 yards. That's where most of his success is coming. That's where most of his good passes are at. He's pretty good out here too, okay? He is not good deep. He is not good deep at all. So we want to keep that up. We want to make sure when he does go deep, he's throwing picks and he has a terrible quarterback rating. The middle of the field is where he's most successful. So that middle depth is where our linebackers need to step up. Nick Bolton will be huge and part to play, and any robber safeties will be a huge part to play in this portion of the field, taking that away from him. That's where his strength is this year, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to there. All right. So that's kind of what the scouting report is on Derek Carr for that particular piece of the game. Really likes the middle of the field. Let's look at their run defense. So if you look at their defenders overall, just Nate Hobbs has been really, really good. So is Max Crosby. He's been really, really good. And Rock Ya-Sin has actually been really good in run support, okay? So those are the guys in run support that have been really helping the Raiders out. Their defense is not fantastic by any means. We should be able to run the ball on them. When you've got corners that are your best run defenders, that's usually not a great sign, right? So if we look at the overall stats and stuff for their defense, Max Crosby is by far their best defender, excuse me. He's got 4 sacks so far. He's averaging 1 a game. He's got 11 hurries. We need to take care of him. They're probably going to want to line him up over Orlando Brown and go at Orlando Brown. So we just got to have a game plan for that. If we're going to do half slides or if we're going to do regular big on big protections, I would prefer big on big with these guys. Denzel Perryman has also been playing pretty well. And then Cleveland Farrell is an honorable mention, but He's been doing most of his work in the in coverage. Actually, that's crazy. So he's an edge player that's been doing most of his work in coverage. I think they've been playing him at outside linebacker some. So that's probably where he's getting a little bit of his work. He doesn't have very many hurries. He actually has none. So, well, no, 4. He has 4 hurries. So he does rush the passer a little bit, but I guess they're using him as an outside linebacker and dropping him into coverage, which is not what I would do with Clelin Ferrell. But hey, man, it's the Raiders. Let's let the Raider. So that's kind of what's up with their defense. Is Max Crosby and Nate Hobbs are the dudes to watch. Everybody else is meh. Special teams is not very good for them. And, of course, Devonte Adams. I'm not going to not talk about Devonte Adams. But he just really hasn't had the type of year that they were expecting, I'm sure. 291 yards, 3 touchdowns out of 26 receptions. So, it's 4 games in. 3 touchdowns in 4 games is by no means bad at all. But I think they just wanted and expected more out of him. Darren Waller hasn't been doing a lot. 175 yards and 1 touchdown. It's just, I'm sure, not what they're expecting. Mac Hollins has been racking up yards. He has 17 receptions, 273 yards, and a touchdown. So that's a name you may or may not have heard and may or may not have expected to hear. So keep an eye out for Mac Hollins. He is doing pretty good. He's averaging 16 yards a reception. So that tells me he's a big play receiver. Just keep an eye out for him. Seems like he's lining up in the slot a fair amount of snaps. So he's lined up in the slot 22 snaps. Darren Waller has been the guy lining up in the slot for the most part for them. Hunter Renfrow lines up in the slot as well, obviously. He's only got 80 yards and no touchdowns on the season. I think he's been a little banged up and hasn't got the same amount of snaps as he normally does. So let's take a look. Yeah, he's only had 15 targets and 10 receptions. He's only played in 2 games. So I don't know. Real quick here, I'm going to pull up the injury report. All right, so to kind of wrap up what we're talking about here, we'll just go over the injury report real quick. So Denzel Perryman he was dealing with a concussion. He was in protocol, but he did practice on Thursday. So he was limited. I don't know if he'll be able to make it back. The concussion protocol is very particular, and there are very particular steps that you have to go through to get back. No word on whether he will be back. Okay, so Foster Moreau, their tight end, did not participate. That doesn't look good for him to play. Hunter Renfrow was a full participant, so he will play. They had a safety with an illness that did not participate. I'm sure he'll play if he gets well. Darren Waller was limited. Sam Webb, Rock Ya-Sin was limited. Denzel Perryman, I said that already, limited. Justin Herron was limited. He's a tackle. And Jalen Brown, a linebacker, was limited. Harrison Butker did not participate. And still dealing with the ankle, so not looking good to have him back yet. Creed Humphrey had a non-football related personal thing that he did not participate on Thursday. Trey Smith has the pec. He was limited. Everybody else on the injury report for the Chiefs was a full participant, so they should be good to go. Those people are L'Jarius Sneed, Mike Dana, Jody Fortson, McCole Hardman, Sky Moore, Juju Smith, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So we're looking pretty good for the injury report. I'm excited to get Harrison Butker back when we do get him back. But overall, you got to be happy week 5. not having anybody really our big superstars injured. So that's nice. So my prediction for Chiefs Raiders game. Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think this is going to be a big game for us. I'm going to go 38-17 Chiefs. 17 points to the Raiders just because it's a rivalry game. Hey man, even when the Raiders are bad, they play us tough. So give them a little bit of respect. Respect the opposition. Don't underestimate them. All that good stuff. That's it, man. That's it for our Red Friday video. I appreciate you guys. I know I'm not wearing a lot of red, but you guys know my routine on Friday. I got to get ready for high school football, and purple's our color. So getting ready to head out for that and start the day on that stuff. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't do anything stupid. And let's go Chiefs.
I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna chew you. From the inside out, so right now. Say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now.